Hi, I'm Anthony Ehresmann, and welcome to Urbana Leader. Today we're going to talk about 4-H and FFA. We have P.T. Thompson, who's president of the Farm Bureau down there on the end. We have Carmen Russell, who is FFA advisor. Am I getting that right? Okay. Then we have Rachel Townsley, who is FFA 4-H member. Right. And then we have Melinda Morrison, who is from the Ohio State Extension, correct? All right, wow. This is the most guests we've had on this program ever, all right? And I wanted to start, I'm going to start with Rachel here, if you don't mind, because I understand that you're going to, I've heard a lot of good things about you, and I hear you're going to give, you're going to speak at the Champaign County Farm Bureau's annual dinner, which is September the 15th, right?
Correct. Yes.
Congratulations. That'll be a big deal.
I'm
looking forward to it. And like I said, I've heard nothing but raving things about you, so I just wanted to point that out. I'm a big supporter of 4-H and FFA. I think it's really important. I think we need to invest in our state's largest economic driving force, which is agriculture. It's also our county's #1 economic driver as well, with $72 million. So I think it's really important to invest in things that are important to our county. But I'm not, and even though I'm a supporter of 4-H and FFA, that doesn't mean I know everything about it. And that's why we had you guys come on, all right? Because we need you to educate everybody in Champaign County and everybody watching the show on what it means to, what 4-H means and what FFA means. Now, first, we'll start with you, Miss Morrison. It's Melinda, right? Mm-hmm. Melinda, and because you're from the extension, and you pretty much handle most of the 4-H programs. I mean, you're like on the top level as far as
yeah, I'm the 4-H educator here in the county.
In the county. All right, tell us a little bit about 4-H. What is 4-H? And let's just start with that. What is 4-H first? Okay.
4-H is the largest youth organization in the United States. It was founded actually in Clark County by A.B. Graham. Champaign County, we like to take credit for it because he was born here.
Well, good.
He was actually born on Champaign County soil,
that's what counts, really.
But he founded it and started it, and it's run through, 4-H is run through land-grant universities across the United States. So we're part of Ohio State University Extension.
Okay.
But the 4-H program, we have 4-H programs in all 88 counties. There's an extension agent or 4-H agent in each county. One of the things that we focus on in this county is, and we've gotten this feedback from our advisory councils, is leadership, workforce development for our youth, citizenship, community service, so the kids learn to give back to the community and be productive adults as they grow. So 4-H is teaching life skills from the time they're 5 years old and in kindergarten all the way up through when they graduate, and then they can come back as advisors and still be involved as well. Right.
And do we find that a lot of people who go through the 4-H or an FFA program, do they go back into that? Do they go back into agriculture? Do they stay in agriculture, or do they branch out into other fields like chemistry and biotech and whatever?
Most of the kids that you find that are going to be in the agricultural industry have 4-H and FFA backgrounds. Right. Now we do have a lot of 4-H because 4-H has expanded not only just animals and agriculture, we do sewing, nutrition, we do leadership, we do money management, numerous projects. One of the big things within the last 4 or 5 years is the STEM program, which is science and technology. They're really pushing that, health and nutrition, focus on the family type things.
And this is going to get old because I've said it before, but one of the reasons I became a Farm Bureau member, and PT's heard me say this about a dozen times at least, maybe more, maybe 100 times, okay, I became a Farm Bureau member because I really believe that farmers, not only do they grow the food that feeds us, they're housing us, they're clothing us, and now they're fueling us. And that takes up a lot of different kinds of industries and a lot of different kinds of qualifications and specialties that people need to learn. And I sit on, and I've said it before, I sit on the Betty Murray Scholarship Fund, and we had over 80 applicants, and every one of them, especially the ones with the 3.5 and up grade point average, had FFA or 4-H. And they put it in, specifically mentioned it for their leadership attributes. So, you know, I think the program is just, you know, one of the best investments that we can make in Ohio is in the Ohio Extension, and thus by in that way also our 4-H programs and our FFA programs. Now, when did you start? Let's ask Rachel. When did you when did you get into 4-H and FFA?
Well, 4-H, it kind of feels like I've been in it my whole life because my parents are actually advisors. So I've been around it my whole life. I started out as a clover bud, which is what you are in 4-H before you're a member. So there's a lot of activities clover buds can do, and basically I just got the feel for what 4-H was about. I went to the club meetings and I learned how everything worked before I even became a member. And then I became a member when I was 9 years old, and I started with my 4-H projects, and I just pretty much got involved in anything.
What was your first 4-H project?
My first year, I took a dairy heifer and a nutrition project and a sewing project.
Wow, so you just dove right into it.
Yes.
Okay, and Carmen Russell here, she's the FFA advisor in Mechanicsburg, right? And you have a new job, right?
Hopefully.
That's good. You have a new job, so she's you know, branching out and becoming a more special. She's going to become so popular that we can't get her on the program anymore. Now, what I know about FFA is I went to Montgomery County Joint Vocational School, which is called Miami Valley Career Center. I don't know what it's called now.
CTC.
Something it's over
like
there
that.
in Montgomery County. And it was, at the time, it was one of the best top 10 vocational schools in America. And it's surrounded by nothing but FFA farm fields. You know, you see these are all FFA projects, and they're all labeled. You know, the school was built by, you know, the Masons and the Electrical Club, Vocational Clubs of America, did all the wiring, and, you know, I mean, the school was practically built by students. Now, that's the extent of my knowledge of FFA, other than my personal contact with young people who have gone through FFA, their scholarships, and through the Farm Bureau. Now, what started FFA, and what do we do here in Champaign County as far as FFA goes?
Well, all students who are members of an FFA chapter in Champaign County are enrolled in an agricultural education class in their home high school. Okay. So you have to be a member of the class, you have to be an active member, and then by being enrolled in an agricultural education class, then you are a member of your FFA chapter. So we have a 3-circle model. So we have the classroom part, the FFA part, and then the third component is an SAE, and that stands for Supervised Agricultural Experience. And that is a project that the students complete on their own time outside of school. So that could be owning something, owning a business, working for a business. It could be showing livestock, raising livestock, purchasing livestock, and then showing it. So that's the main part. And then our main goal of the FFA is to promote premier leadership, personal growth, and career success for our youth.
Okay. Now, and every time I talk to somebody from FFA or 4-H, they're 9 times out of 10, they're all Farm Bureau members. Am I all right?
Yeah, or their parents.
Or their parents.
Yeah.
P.T. Thompson's the president of the Champaign County Farm Bureau, and thanks for coming back on the program again. We've had you on before.
Good to be back.
I appreciate it. Now, just listening to these young ladies talk about FFA and 4-H, is it safe to say that the Farm Bureau probably thinks this is a pretty important thing, right?
Well, it is. 4-H and FFA create the future of agriculture.
Right.
You know, everybody gets old. That's a fact, and it's going to happen. And you always need a generation that's going to step up and fill the shoes of the food producers and the fiber producers and the fuel producers. And it plays a vital role in how we shape our curriculum and where we throw our support. Farm Bureau, Champaign County Farm Bureau in particular, puts together policies to help preserve the education of the youth for future agricultural purposes. Last year at the annual meeting, the state annual meeting with the Ohio Farm Bureau, the biggest thing was in Jackson County, where they were going to cut their extension.
Right.
And it was going to force the 4-H programs to turn into districts. And therefore you would lose your county 4-H program, and the slack would have to be picked up by the county.
Right.
So it would have to be, that kid could have a project, but in order for him to show his project, he would have to join 4-H and an adjoining county.
In an adjoining county, not in his own county.
And that puts a lot of burden on other counties because now they're going to have to fund more 4-Hers. And we've fought hard to try to preserve 4-H and try to support FFA. We work closely with FFA chapters here in Champaign County. Mechanicsburg was one big one that helped us out a lot this year with programs, and we want to thank Carmen for that.
Now, I'm always running into FFA kids and they're all from like, I don't know, what is it? You grow FFA kids in Mechanicsburg or
We
what?
try very hard.
Apparently, they're like sprouting everywhere.
It's a big part of
It's a big part of the community in Mechanicsburg. That's absolutely, there's no doubt about it. And I know that this year, the Farm Bureau handed out T-shirts to all the 4-H kids at the county fair, which was how many was that?
around 1,800.
1,800 T-shirts, really?
Yeah, we couldn't do it without the help of the community, the county.
Yeah. Well, we're going to have to take a very quick break, and we'll come right back, okay? Thanks for watching, and we'll be right back. All right, everybody. Hi, I'm Anthony Ehresmann. Welcome back to Urbana Leader. We're here with P.T. Thompson, Carmen Russell, Rachel Townsley, and Melinda Morrison.
Hard name to remember.
I know. It's a good thing I wrote it down, but I was trying to do it from memory, okay? One of the things that I've been, and I've heard about this in the news, I've heard it on the agricultural news like AgNet and some of the other newsletters that I get that are agriculturally related, is that we have counties that are actually losing their 4-H and FFA programs. Now, how does that affect that particular county's 4-H program and the kids who were in that 4-H program? Should they, let's say one day Champaign County or Logan County didn't have a 4-H program, what would happen?
Well, the way the current structure is, and we are currently under restructuring, and that will probably take place January 1st. But as of right now, the way it is, if a county loses funding, then they have no extension, they have no 4-H program. The way 4-H is set up on the state rules is you have to have 4-H in your county in order to be eligible to participate. So if commissioners don't fund 4-H or extension in their county, then those kids lose out on the opportunity of participating. We have a lot of kids that cross county line either for school district. Sometimes they'll cross county line, maybe they have a split family parent type situation. One thing we do not allow cross county line for is just because they like one fare better or another competition. But there are legitimate cases where kids need to cross county line. If that would happen, the way the current structure is, the current home county, for example, if we had someone in Logan County showing in Champaign or participating in Champaign and Logan lost funding, that cross-county line, that child may have been in this county their whole entire career, it would be revoked because the home county does not support extension.
So, and how is it that we're losing 4-H programs? Because there are a couple of counties that are basically, you know, they're turning off the lights and locking the doors.
4-H is funded, well, extension, Ohio State, or extension all over, is funded 3 different ways. We get money from the federal government, money from the state government, and then the rest comes out of the local government from the county commissioners. And what's happening is a lot of the local governments are losing funding, and
Because of
the
state
county,
cuts.
because
So
of
they're
state
right,
cuts.
State cuts.
Yeah.
And it's
so
the
that's
trickle-down thing, yeah.
right. That's why we're currently in restructuring. One of the things with new restructuring is they're going to have a 4-H presence in every county. Now, that doesn't guarantee that they'll have, you know, the full effect that they may have with a county educator there, but there will be some type of 4-H presence in every county.
Now, do you think, let's ask everybody on the panel, do you think there's a return on an investment for 4-H and FFA PT?
Most definitely. They're
Monetary?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. What about you, Carmen?
Absolutely. I hopefully am preparing my students to be productive citizens of society.
And do you think that it's added to your future prospects as well?
Absolutely. I would not be the person I am today if I hadn't been in 4-H and FFA, because before I really got involved in these programs, I was really shy and reserved, and I hadn't really come out of my shell yet. And through all the activities that I had through 4-H and FFA, I learned not only I got to know other people, I came out of my shell and got involved in leadership activities, and also I got introduced to a lot of job opportunities in agriculture.
Okay.
And that has really helped me and helped decide where I'm going to college and what I'm majoring in.
What are your grades? What
I
did you graduate
finished
with?
With a 3.94.
See what I mean about this? Every kid that I've seen an application for a scholarship have the most phenomenal grades. I wish I had been in 4-H and FFA. I was done back then, and now I got old. I got a little wiser and I got a little older, and now I wish I had done, even if it had been a quilting thing, needlepoint. I don't care.
And I mean,
it would have definitely helped. It would definitely help me a lot.
We've done studies, within the last 5 years, there was a study that came out that 4-Hers had higher GPAs, they were less involved in drugs and alcohol and pregnancies and those type of things. So it's
And all of
giving
those things
activities
are
for our
less drag
kids
on
to
the
do.
community, as far, especially when you don't have to, you know, put people up in jail because they're not committing crimes, or, you know, you don't have higher health care because they're generally more health conscious and they're staying away from drugs, so you don't have a lot of expenditure there. And the list just goes on and on and on. So instead of being counterintuitive, it is absolutely intuitive. If you're in a 4-H or FFA program, you're actually going to turn out to be a better person. I am 100% assured of it. I don't need to see a big long data sheet that says, you know, this is the return on investment, it's, you know, X amount of dollars. The evidence is visible every day. And I want to thank everybody here for everything that you guys do for 4-H and FFA. Before we end the program, I want to make sure I thank you for everything that you guys do. Now, is this something that, let me ask you, how did you get into it? How did you get started in this?
Well, it's a strange situation. Prior to this job, I had my own company,
Okay.
a multi-million-dollar company, and my ex-husband and I separated.
Say what again?
I moved back home, and I'm like, what am I going to do? And what's kind of funny about it was that I was in high school, I always said I wanted Doug Dill's job.
No, wait a minute. I got to back this up just for, you know, grins. What did your parents say when the multimillionaire came back to live at home?
Well, I didn't come back to home. I came back to the county.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
And by the
That's
time, yeah, it's a long story.
Okay.
Anyways,
let's go
back
on
to
then.
4-H and our youth. I had always said in high school that that I wanted Doug Dill's job, who was my predecessor. I was highly involved in 4-H here in the county. And so one day I walked into the extension office and I said, you know, I know Doug retired. I heard there was a hiring freeze. What are you going to do? Or, you know, I would like to apply for the job. And they said, we have no idea when it's going to open up.
Are we sure he retired? Has anybody talked to Doug lately?
Oh, yeah, I talked to him all the time.
Okay.
In fact, last week. He can't retire. So anyways, they said, well, we have a water quality job open. Why don't you apply for that? I said, I have no water quality experience, but okay, I want to get back into the ag business. So I was hired for that. 2 months later, they opened up the 4-H position, and I was hired for that. So that's why I'm
now,
here.
were you in 4-H or FFA as a child too?
4-H.
You were in 4-H.
I was not in FFA.
Now you became a multi-millionaire.
Pardon me?
You had a multi-million-dollar business, self-business, right?
Yeah. And when I did hiring, one of the things that I looked for was not necessarily what their GPA was or what the person's degree was. I looked at their background. Did they have an agriculture background? Did they know how to bale hay? Did they know how to...
Did they know what hard work was? Did they know about leadership?
Yeah.
And
we looked for those skills and those things.
So did I. I always do. I'm always willing to give somebody a little leeway on what their educational, you know, what their paper says. You know, and when I see that where they have certain experiences, even traumatic experiences can empower people. So even when they it comes up during a job interview, because I've interviewed people who you know just said I've had this problem and I'm going to apologize right now and you're going to find out about it. And I said, you know what, it's not a big deal. And so, and how did you get? Well, we know how you got into 4-H. You were
my family.
Yeah, right. You came into the world screaming 4-H. And how did you get started with FFA?
Well, I grew up on a purebred Maine-and-Jew beef farm, and so I was in 4-H when I was younger, and I enjoyed that. And then I got into high school and joined FFA, and I loved that.
All right. What's pure?
It's just the breed of cattle we had.
Okay.
And then I knew I wanted to go to college for education, and I had a passion for agriculture, so that's how I got here.
And it served you well? PT, did you do 4-H and FFA?
I did.
What was your first project?
Hogs.
Hogs?
Well, my dad had a spot farm registered.
Right.
Show pigs. And started from there. Hated it. Hated pigs.
Hated pigs?
So then I got into the business side of things, and that's where FFA really paid off, because it's not really necessarily just animals, but you can do business projects as well. And,
right.
And then I really liked to see the business side of things, and went to college for business. And
right, Urbana University.
Yeah, Urbana University.
We talked about you today. I was out there at the Activities Day. I was talking to the president. We miss you. And I met the new president, student body president. Nice guy. I got to tell you, the first time, I've never been to a calf scramble. I've been to pig scrambles. I've been to pig scrambles. I've seen them chase pigs off. And I tell you what, that's hard to do. But the calf scramble scared the bejesus out of me. I thought people were going to, and sure enough, somebody got hurt. Did you do the calf scramble?
No.
No? Good, smart.
I wanted to.
You wanted to do it?
Yeah.
Good for you. I like a smart girl who's just ready to do whatever. Did you do the pig scramble or a calf scramble?
No, I'm
You
not
ever do that?
originally from Champaign County, and my county doesn't have that opportunity.
Oh, well, they should get it. They should really get it. Did you ever do it?
Yeah, I did.
Did you get your pig?
Of course.
Oh,
yeah.
that's good.
I got a pig.
Yeah, she got one too.
I got one.
Good. Were you?
But she
Did it
didn't have
take
a great
Were you the last one,
experience.
or were you one of the first ones?
I don't remember. I was right in the middle. I dove for a few, and I was all muddy, and I was tired, and I was kind of just standing there, and one ran right by me, and I just grabbed its leg, and I was right by the circle.
And you dragged it in by the back leg?
Yeah, I was standing right by the circle. I took one step, and
that is.
we
I've
ran.
watched a lot of pig scrambles, and that's a bit. If you can get them by the back legs, you can drag them in. Because if you try and pull them in, they put those brakes on, and then you ain't.
I mean,
moving
if you've
a
got
bit.
some
Take
muscle,
you half
you
an hour
can
to
pick
get
'em
it in
up
that
and put 'em
darn
in
circle. Okay, I want to thank all of you for being on the program, and we'll have to have you come back and give us an update on what's going on FFA and congratulations on your new job, and I hope all the best for you. PT, we'll see you on September 15th at the Champaign County Farm Bureau's annual dinner, which is held where?
It's the community center right there on 68.
On 68. And where are you going to go to school?
I am going to Ohio State.
Good. And what are you majoring in?
My major is food, agricultural, and biological engineering.
Awesome. Awesome.
Yes.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. And do you have any dates for us? I think far out there.
Far out, well, we got camps coming up, we got fairs coming up. Fairs always first full week in August, starts on a Friday.
All right.
If you were interested in joining 4-H,
And anytime you have something come up, or you want to get something off your, if you're having a problem or whatever, give me a call, and we'll have you on the program, and we'll talk about it and see if we can't get some support for it. I want to thank again all of you for being on the program. That's our program for today, and I'm going to go to a little housekeeping here. If you want to be a sponsor, please email us at urbanaleader@hotmail.com. And don't forget, you can always find us on the web at youtube.com. Just do a search for Urbana Leader, and it'll take you to all our videos. We're also on Facebook under Urbana Leader, and Twitter, Urbana Leader, all one word. And you can see all of our programs are posted on the web at urbanaleader.blogspot.com. And you can also watch the programs on Facebook too. So if you're not, tell your friends. If they don't get 5, 13, or 1, say, oh, you can see this program on Facebook or on the internet. I want to thank you all for that. Our next show is going to be on the Mental Health District. Thanks for coming.